Hey, what's going on, everyone? Hallo, servus, moin, for those of y'all in the northern part of Germany. Building a House Part 3, The Roof. House construction documentary, German technology. We see the video 1, the base slab being done, and then video 2 was all of the blocks around the house and the actual building of the structural part of it, as well as the base of the roof. So kind of like the base slab, but on the roof. These houses are serious. Like, they're really solid. It's been interesting seeing in the comments as well. Like, this has been described as not a typical German house because, number one, they don't have a basement, and there were some other things as well that people alluded to as to it's not being exactly typical of a German house, but it's one German house. And then a lot of funny jabs at like North American houses being made out of like cardboard, basically. Which, hey, there's some truth to it. They're, American houses and North American houses, our houses here, they're built somewhat flimsily, right? It's just you just have like your 2x4s, your gyprock, and yeah, they're kind of shabby. These houses here in Germany, like, they can withstand a tornado. I'm sure, like, they can withstand a lot more. They have those blocks have some serious insulation technology built within them to, number one, keep the house cold. Or keep the house cool, I suppose, in the summer, and keep it warm in the winter. Here in our place, it's usually too hot, like, for us, but we're pretty lucky. Like, some people have really bad houses, and it's just like a sauna inside, right? And they're literally like sweating their asses off in the summertime without air conditioning units. So we don't have an air conditioning unit. We just have a fan, open up the windows, and we're mainly in the shade because we have a lot of tree cover. So lucky for us. Let's get to it. Building a house, the roof.
The concrete of the ring anchor has hardened. The roof can come. The carpenters first put the so-called purlin. The beam construction runs around the entire upper wall edge. It forms the basis for the roof structure and carries the roof truss elements.
I feel like they put didn't they put the roof on in the last episode? Like the concrete, they laid the concrete.
Construction follows exactly according to plan.
Like the base of the roof.
The truss is planned and
Not the
made to
trusses.
measure for each house by a specialized timber construction company. The carpenters must set up the roof structure exactly on this basis.
I have some buddies that work in construction and carpentry. They really love it, right? Like, you really have to use your brain and problem solving and making sure everything is absolutely precise to make sure that your build is correct. There we go. What if it rains? I'm always curious about, like, if it rains during the construction, does it affect it at all?
Hammer the last nail into, and of course the three also have to toast the house.
And then for the good of the builders and
Couple
their
of
happy
shots.
future.
The glass then with smack on the floor. It has to shatter, otherwise it will bring bad luck.
The buffet is open. Have fun.
The builders did not allow themselves to be ripped off. There is grilled meat, soups and lots of drinks. And how do guests like the house?
That's good.
Would you also move in there? Yes, exactly. I have already submitted an application. I wanted to move in here yesterday, but I'm not allowed to.
Jokes.
My rooms are a little different and a little bigger. But in principle, it's not that bad.
Yes, very nice. So our suitcases are already packed.
Jokes,
Well,
jokes,
so
jokes.
well that could soon be cozy in the new house. And how are the builders?
We are really happy because it went so quickly. They did a really good job. The construction workers and everything went very well.
Yes, that it stayed as planned. Now we have come together and we are totally happy.
That sounds good. The topping out ceremony was also a success and continues well into the night. Now there is peace in the building.
Look, they're having a little fire in the backyard. Love it.
Weekend.
Let's finish that roof.
The roofers will be back on Monday morning. First, they install the
Hey, it's raining.
so-called ridge slats. Here on the edges, where two roof surfaces meet each other, the ridges serve to cover the tiles on the butt edges. For that, the ridge tiles will come over the ridge slats later. The roof tiles are now of course also laid. However, the weather was getting worse. The rain became so heavy that the work had to be stopped. The next day the weather is better and
Damn
the
rain.
roofers have already been able to cover a large part of the roof. The laying principle is simple. Thanks to the interlocking system, the bricks mesh perfectly. This creates a closely interlocking, dense, firm and stable roof covering. In addition, roof clips are also placed so that the roof can withstand the heaviest storms. The ridges are almost done too. A polypropylene fleece with folded aluminum edges comes over the slats, optimal for the rear ventilation of the ridge roof tile, which are now placed over it. Final spurt for the roofers, the last roof tiles. The bricklayers are also on site again. They put the last chimney elements. The chimney has grown with the house bit by bit and has now reached its final size. Finally, the chimney cover is on top. Finished.
Getting there. Almost done. I like those roof tiles though. Seems very technologically sound. The way they're strapped down like that and the way they're going to repel the rain down the edge of the roof.
The rain finally stopped the next day.
Was that a boat in the yard next to them? What's going on here? Like they have a boat in their garden. That's awesome. Like a
The finally stopped the next day.
little windmill, little boat, and a garden
The
boat.
best conditions for the last work on the roof. The chimney is also clad. This way, it is well protected from the weather. The cladding with tiles, like this one, looks the most elegant. But it also does a lot of work. Each plate comes individually to the chimney.
Insulation?
The insulation is now almost completely in the roof. Since the roof is not occupied, the insulation does not have to be between the rafters, but comes into the bottom cord level. As you can see well from the outside. Of course,
that up.
the roof overhang is still covered. For this, the carpenter is on site again, who sets the boxed eaves.
Nice. Clean.
The roof is finished after a week.
Looks nice.
Including the chimney cladding, gutters and roof hatch for the chimney sweep.
Look at that. Looks beautiful. You know, that's a heavy house. That somewhat surprises me. Not that I know much about carpentry, but I know that I think a lot of our roofing systems are quite different. And like I said, I do have a friend that has a roofing business. But even then, I don't know that much about his business. All right, cool. That's part 3, the roof. It's been interesting watching this house being built and seeing the comments from everybody with their different opinions about how this house